cold again.
At least it's not too hot all the time.
So, welcome to the 120th
120?
hour of Adventure.
Not even halfway. Not even halfway.
Hi to everyone watching on the stream as well this evening. Just a reminder that this is a relaxed performance, like all of our shows. That means there won't be any sort of loud noises. If you need to pop in and out during the hour, that's absolutely fine. There's a relaxed session to sound and movement in the room to the benefit of people who can't stay so silent for an hour. And also, the lights should stay up just like this. We're having a bit of a glitch with some of the hotel's lighting at the moment. We'll never go to blackout and the lights go off for 6 seconds. And I'm going to hand over now to Alex, who is our games master.
Hello. Yes, I am Alex, and I am the games master for this final hour of the day today. Welcome. What's going on? Well, who are we? What's going on? Who am I? How long have I been doing this? Who's the president? Oh God, it's Trump. Welcome to Adventurers Wanted. We are, for those of you who don't know already, a tabletop role-playing game. What that means is that the people sat on the tables beside me are playing their own unique characters. I, as the games master, play the rest of the world. I play and describe places, people, and things that they encounter. I tell them the things that are happening around them or things that they might be able to do, and they describe to me how they would like to interact with things or what they would like to do. Every so often, and sometimes quite regularly, I will ask them to roll dice, and their success or failure on rolling those dice will determine whether something succeeds magnificently or fails hilariously. It adds a bit of chaos into the game, and it helps push the story forward. Speaking of the story, all of our players are crew members. Segue. All of our players are crew members aboard a naval research vessel known as the Spirit of the Horizon. On a recent mission, it was unexpectedly and magically teleported to a completely new and unknown world. Now the crew have to figure out how to get home, whether that be by fighting monsters, or exploring islands, making and finding new allies, or by some other means as yet unknown to them. Most recently, sorry, so much has happened in the last 4 hours.
Nothing has happened in the last 4 hours. Absolutely nothing has happened.
The crew of the ship were approached by two recent allies, two pirates. They approached and said that their leader, a man by the name of Lokash, had absconded from the Black Cove, an island where the pirates live and sort of run a temporary economy. He left the island taking with him a strange magical artifact, a skull, on which he had been making ship's captains and members of the crew and pirates in general swear an oath of allegiance to the god of piracy and brotherhood, Horatia. They followed him. They tracked him down to a nearby island known as the Isle of Annoy, and they plunged into a barrow, a temple barrow, where they fought with Lokash, defeating him, dropping him unconscious. As he did so, his head exploded, and the skull that he'd been carrying started to animate, and at the same time, all of these jars and amphorae around the room exploded as well, and bones of all shapes and sizes to do with the humanoid crashed together, and they flew down, smashing a hole in the floor and opening up a secret passage into an underground temple. The players descended. There they came face to face with this lich-like creature that was slowly trying to pull energy together and rematerialize its form. They fought. They did not fight valiantly. They fought badly, with serious difficulty against it for nearly 20 minutes of game time, 4 hours of real time.
Utterly rubbish.
We tried our best.
Before another ally, a character that they had met maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago now, appeared out of nowhere, leaping to their aid and basically burnt this thing to a crisp in the centre of the room. As it fell, it stumbled back towards this pool of radiant, necrotic purple energy that was twisting and turning in the centre of the room. It dived into it, and there was a sound of a low, crumbling, dangerous noise. And that's where we left off at the end of the hour. Before we jump back in, I would like everyone to go around the table and tell us their name, the name of their character, what the character does, and one thing about their character that would mean they would stand out and be known on board the ship. And I'm going to start on my right.
So I'm Isla. I am playing Noggin, who is a gnome rogue. I am the ship's dentist, and I collect shiny things and teeth.
I'm Chris. I'm playing Wally. Wally is half bird, half man. He's a local of the world they're in, and he's a sea druid. It's all about the sea.
I'm Johnny. I am playing Alistair Vondercont. He is a dwarven bard. He is the ship's scribe, but he feels he's a little more creative than that. He is a scholar and a writer extraordinaire.
My name's Ed. I am playing a character called Gwendolyn Skull, who you may be surprised to learn is a male half-elf fighter, and he is the master of the Spirit of the Horizon, and is therefore supposed to install discipline and keep the civilians under control.
Wonderful, thank you very much. As we pick back up, we find 3 of our characters on their feet at the base of the steps, looking into the room where this creature has just fallen into the pit in the centre, and it's starting to bubble and crack and break. Over the top of it, through various magical means, is a thin layer of hardened mud. And you can see now that the bubbling and the movement of the whatever's going on beneath the surface causes that to break and crack. And you're looking forward and you're seeing that it's sort of starting to build its way up and expand over the top of the edges of the pit, still bubbling and making all of these strange movements. And there is this low as it does so. Wally, you are unconscious on the floor, being beaten up by your own elemental.
Correct. It's been a good day.
And Candle, who you now know is this extra ally, a Vosu, a fox-faced sorcerer, female, turns to you, looks at you all, and she says, "Well, he's dead. It's time to get out of here. Well, quickly."
I'm dead.
Yes, let's go.
I'm unconscious. I can't do anything.
Can I steal Gwendolyn's healing potion and then go over to Wally?
It will take you a turn to do that. You can do it.
We're still in combat.
Roll me an insight. No, combat is over. There's nothing left to fight.
The air elemental.
Oh, the air elemental.
It only has 60 hit points left, so you know.
God.
Yeah, you can fight the air elemental.
I don't want to fight the air elemental.
I want to fight the air elemental. I want to do
You can't
something.
hit it either.
What?
You're all gonna die.
Fair enough. I thought that. Okay, fine.
Let's
I say
just
run away.
run.
Right, yeah, I'm totally down with that.
As far as my little legs can take me.
Right, am I
Well, you
rolling
can still hit it,
insight?
just takes half damage.
I'd be willing to give it a shot, and I think that was my plan anyway.
Candle, as you're watching, Candle just disappears up the stairs. She's off on her way out. The wall of fire that was at the top of the stairs, gone.
Okay. Following behind him.
Wonderful. What would you like to do? You're gonna give him health.
Steal his potion first, Gwendolyn's, and
Wait.
then
mine?
yes.
Damn
'Cause
it.
I've already stolen
I'm
his.
order.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah. You already stole it. Okay, cool.
Stolen everything I own.
Yeah.
Okay, roll a sleight of hand check against your perception check.
That
my
is
perception's
a
awful.
18.
4.
That's all I
You, out of his pocket, you remove the potion.
Okay. And I would like to go over to Wally and give him the potion.
How many failed death saving throws have I got for being punched by an air elemental?
It would be your turn. It would be your turn now to roll one.
Before she gets to me.
Yeah, technically, if we're still in combat.
Oh, so I'm rolling one and then it's going to hit me and I'll lose one anyway. That is a 10.
That is exactly what you need to roll, isn't it?
Yeah, excellent. One success. Check.
Oh god, you're
Noggin,
Oh yeah.
you would move before the air elemental did any further attacking anyway. So, in order to pour this potion into it, you are going to have to enter into combat range with the air elemental. The air elemental is basically directly over Wally's body. It's fallen to the floor, and it is just still just like like he wants to turn it into paste.
Just leave him. Oh no, Chris, you can't die twice, man.
Yeah.
I can, and I might.
I watched him die before. as well,
Please
which
You
was
didn't watch
great.
me die before. You watched my other character die
Watch
before.
your other character
Yeah.
die.
While this decision making is occurring, you're still hearing and feeling this and seeing this. And as you look behind, you see that the purple, strange sort of void magic, necrotic magic that was in the pool has very much made its way out the sides of the pool, and it's starting to grow into the beginnings of almost a column of energy and power.
If I go in, am I gonna get hurt?
If you go into the
Yeah.
air elemental,
Yes.
it will provoke an attack of opportunity from it. You will be entering into its range.
Alright, I'm gonna try.
Can you roll me the attack of opportunity, please? Oh,
Oh,
tell
so-
me what the
The air elemental.
what the attack.
Not gonna leave you to die.
Don't let me do it. Jesus, I just rolled an 18.
The air elemental has a +8 to attack, so it does not hit.
Does
Two.
not hit.
I'm so sneaky. The wind can't even see me.
That's actually exactly genuinely what happened. So
You
that's
are,
good.
you are the Muhammad Ali in this particular.
At
Right.
that, yes.
And can I use a cunning action to then run
Get
away
out.
after I've given him the potion?
You don't need to.
I don't need to.
Nope.
Why?
Oh, you might. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Well, I don't know what's happening, so I'm going to still try and run away.
Okay,
That's cool.
Totally fair.
That's cool.
You're gonna run
Run away.
up the stairs.
Up the stairs.
You followed after Candle.
Yes.
Gwendolyn, what did you do?
I haven't done anything yet.
Gwendolyn, what did you do?
It's not an accusation.
What did you do?
I followed up the stairs. Like I'm not hanging around.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Can I be alive now?
You got brought back to health. How much health did you drop into him?
Oh,
8d4
superior.
plus 8?
84 plus 8. Do I need to roll
3,
it?
7,
8,
8,
9.
9, 11, 13, 14,
22,
15 plus
23.
8, 22.
23.
23. I'm back to 23 points of health.
And Noggin, you have run.
Running away.
Before Wally's turn,
Oh.
the lair acts.
Yep.
Acts on a DC 20. At this point, the magical void energy, the purple, explodes. It goes up into the ceiling above, which is now less than it was because you turned some of it into mud. You turned some of it into mud. It smashes out, and you just see it just burrowing through the rock and the earth above its head. At the same time, it explodes outwards, and I roll 8d6.
That's not going to be less than 22.
Could be. I see 2 1s in there. It could be.
14, 16, 28.
Oh.
28 points of necrotic damage.
Is this an area effect?
You're not
I
going
mean, it's affecting a large area, so sure, yeah.
Or does evasion work with this?
How is she affected by it?
I think you're affected by it.
Am I
You've-
far enough away?
Roll me a dexterity saving throw and use your evasion if you can.
Okay.
You can try and roll me a
19.
dexterity saving throw, but you're still on the floor in the room. It's like
Very high DC.
going to be super high
Literally,
DC.
the first thing I'm going to do is wild shape into a giant eagle to fly off, so that gave me any extra. I'm literally from the floor, just off and off. It's up to you.
You could do that immediately after this.
Okay. All right, dex saving throw.
It's
it
the
is.
problem. You're also in combat with an air elemental. Remember?
Is it trying to get away?
No,
It has no clue.
no, it's just taken all of that damage as well.
Well, it's got about 50 hit points left. That makes sense. Okay. Come on. That is a 20, not natural.
Oh, the DC on this is so high.
What's the DC on it?
25.
Okay.
As
I get
written.
half damage
That's
because
fine.
of the evasion.
Yep.
Yep.
So what was it
Up.
altogether?
Down again.
28, wasn't it?
Yeah,
28 points
28
of
points.
necrotic damage.
so 14.
So you would take
Good maths
14
there.
points of necrotic damage.
Glad I'm useful for something. I've done nothing in the 2 hours I've been here.
The ceiling above the lair, the energy dissipates as it blasts out, and you can, Wally, as you're dropping unconscious, you can see a gap, like almost a ray of light in through the ceiling of the room
Right.
as your vision goes dark.
Is it going to do anything else, this lair?
Behind you, as you're running, guys, you hear, no, it doesn't. That's the end of its sort of power in that sense. It would then be your go. But there is the sound of rocks falling. Heavy, heavy rocks falling. Large chunks of stone and masonry and earth. You will all need to run.
Yep.
Both of you will need to roll me a dexterity saving, one dexterity saving throw. Noggin, you will need to roll me 2 dexterity saving throws as you paused to
Could she stay?
So 26
success.
and a maths
16.
16.
Fail.
Oh.
You take 12 points of bludgeoning damage as a huge piece of masonry falls from the ceiling.
Can I
6.
uncanny dodge it?
Uh,
No, it's not really an attack.
You can see it coming.
yeah, yeah,
So that's half.
half that, so that's 6 points. Yours was
6.
You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as another piece of the ceiling crunches down beside you. Candle succeeds. Rolls a 19. Good work. Gwendolyn, what did you roll?
14. Fair enough.
17 points of bludgeoning damage. A huge chunk of the lintel of one of the doorways crashes down across your shoulders as you scamper through it.
I'm fine. Fine.
Sorry, I took your healing potion.
Yeah, well, you know, kleptomaniac. What am I supposed to do?
The 4 of you,
3. Oh.
3 and Candle, explode out of the doorway of the temple onto the ground below. You land face down, breathing heavily. Behind you, you hear just this as the barrow, the entranceway, and everything to do with it just sort of implodes slightly and closes in on itself. Wally is dead.
Oh man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's not what I want. It's fair to say in the last 5 hours he made some horrifically bad choices. So
Unbelievably bad.
Yep.
Truly impressive.
You basically nearly killed us all with your.
twice.
Yeah.
The
They
three,
were good ideas. No.
No, they weren't good ideas.
They weren't good ideas.
the 3 of you lay face down on the thick, dark grass, damp, sweating, breathing heavily. How do you feel, Gwendolyn? Alistair?
I've been upset, to be honest.
Yeah, I want some booze and some sleep. I'm kind of done with this. I feel like I keep getting into these situations and people keep dying and it's
First Ulmar,
yeah,
now Wally,
yeah.
and the captain.
Yeah.
That was quite good for me, but yeah, no, it's not fun.
Noggin, how do you feel? You tried so valiantly to save
Yeah.
him.
Really, really, really annoyed. Because, this is the second time that I've really tried to help someone and then they have died on me and I've just had to run away.
Well, we will raise a glass to him.
Yes.
Where the hell is my flagon?
I take the flagon. I say, oh yeah, you dropped this in battle. I give it back to you because this death reminds me of the other death, and Olmon was really not happy about me stealing things. So I remember, sorry about that. I just got caught up in the moment, Olmon.
It's quite all right. Wine.
You say wine, and into it appears a whole mug full of this beautiful, golden, syrupy, sweet wine.
Lovely. And I recite a poem in memory of Wally.
Lovely. Would you like to do so?
I would. A song for Wally, cut down in his prime, whose life shall be remembered through music and rhyme. His magic was lovely, his kisses sublime. His elementals powerful, but so poorly timed.
Wonderful. Have you drunk from this mug before?
I have.
Not once, but many times.
Alcohol.
Well, I thought it was alcohol.
Okay. That's fine.
Ooh, strong stuff.
When I gave it out, it had a magical property, which meant that any alcohol that made in it was non-alcoholic.
I know that. Alistair doesn't know that.
That's really funny.
Yeah. D100 useless magical items table.
But quite funny.
Candle is beside you, and she sits up, and she sort of looks across at everybody, sees that they look miserable, and says, "Well," rough voice suddenly. Sorry. Well, that was
Unnecessary?
dangerous, very dangerous. Necrotic energy often is. These necromancers must be stopped.
Did we not just stop it?
Well, this one's done. But necromantic energy and necromancers are, well, it's hard to stop them when they are a part of the world. This magic is part of the weave. It's very important that it be protected as much as any other school of magic be protected. Of course, how can we learn how to defeat and destroy the liches and the powerful beasts of the underworld unless we study the magics ourselves?
Rather you than me.
Well, it's not my area of expertise, but there are some who know. There are some who know. She looks across at all of you and she says, I understand this is probably not a good time to bring this up, but some of my people are in need of your assistance.
How? What kind of assistance are you in need of? You didn't do very well there.
Yeah, nothing to do with magic, if that's it.
No.
Where I am from, I am unique, but, well, you've been in this world now for a few weeks, and you have seen much of it. Have you not noticed something strange about the things that you've encountered?
I think everything is strange here. Everything is new. Everything is strange in this world.
She sort of nods, and that hadn't occurred to her at that point. that this would be. And she sort of says, of course, you're completely new to this. She looks around, she says, you've met many races, species, people, but you haven't met many magic casters.
Well, I don't know.
Sure, you're right. Well, I thought the devil, but then again, I suppose the devil didn't cast any magic.
Wally was a bit magic.
And the queen of Thundercresty person.
You've met people, out of character, sorry. You've met people who have divine magic. You've met druids.
Yeah.
But you haven't met any spellcasters.
Oh, she was really intrigued by me when we first met. She
Yeah.
hates me now.
In fact, roll insight checks, everybody.
16.
How incredibly fitting that is.
Chris rolled a 1.
I know nothing.
Well, you're
Surprise,
dead.
surprise.
14.
14,
10.
10, 16, 14, 10. Noggin, you think back and you realise that... I forgot where I was going with that, sorry.
Sorry, didn't mean to
Professionals,
focus.
all of you.
Distracted by the 1.
Full focus, I'm sorry.
You realise that everyone you have met who had magic... Oh, I've totally lost my train of thought. I'm really sorry. That is awful.
Give us a wizards on this world specifically. We haven't met any wizards.
No, you haven't. Everywhere you have been, magic users have been almost non-existent. They have been in the background. Divine magic, the magics of the gods, yes, quite a lot. You've met paladins, you've met clerics, you've met a blackguard. But yeah, no wizards, no sorcerers, no warlocks. Magic seems to be not a thing that is particularly popular amongst the communities and the islands that you have spent time on.
Yeah, I haven't noticed any wizards. Guys, have you seen any wizards?
I don't like wizards. I'm very glad they're not here, and I hope that no one's going to try and bring them back.
Stops rolling upwards.
At that point, Candle looks across to you and says, "They haven't gone away. Well, they're still in the world. I am part of a small community. A large city, in fact, although the community is small. It's known as Clathid. Clathid is an ancient city, stronghold, place of magic and study. There is a huge conclave. All 8 magical schools hold their main buildings there, and we train small handfuls of students picked out from around the world based on latent magical abilities. It is not a popular exploit, magic, on this world. We rescue these children from lives of danger and, well, there are communities around where if you are discovered to be a spellcaster, that could be the end of your life.
Why do they hate spellcasters so much?
I don't really know, but I think it has a lot to do with the spell drac.
Spelldrift.
Roll insight checks.
15.
20, not natural.
10.
Uh,
I can never get anything.
Not big on the social skills.
Noggin, you recognise this word. Alistair, you definitely recognise this. When you've been on the Trocan Caldera, where the triple cities of the Trocan Caldera stand, the Thundercrest Federation has its headquarters. In the middle of the lagoon, there is this huge purple storm, almost a fixed storm right in the centre of the lagoon, out of which lightning fires and roiling clouds. It's almost like a fixed mushroom cloud. And you've heard it referred to on your time there as the Speldrak Swirl. You've also, Alistair, have heard some people aboard the ship, when they've been talking to Plumage, the ambassador on the ship, he has mentioned it as well. And there is this sense that they've had that they think that part of what is causing the magical teleportation energy that allows people to jump on and off the ship might have something to do with both the tablet and this latent, strange, magical force that pervades all of Havma, which is known as the Speldrak. Noggin, with this information, how do you feel?
I don't know very much about magic. I think it's cool. But other than that... So I think, I know another gnome that would be very interested in this information. And I make a note that I'm going to tell Bruna about it.
Wonderful.
Who is head of science and magic on the ship. Like, magical research.
Magical research,
That's
yes.
So how is the Speldrak Swirl connected to all of this?
I'm not completely certain. But part of the Speldrak has a lot to do with Clathid.
Did you create it?
Did I create it?
No. I mean, did the city create it?
I don't know.
How long has it been there?
Well, if the stories and the rumors are to be believed, nearly 200 years.
And everyone is happy with this situation for it damps down the magic.
Most people, well, at least everyone I've come across, has no power to control such a wild and powerful magic. Some of my colleagues and the people I live with, they gain some magical benefits from the presence of it, and most of the people in the world are, well, they don't seem to be particularly affected by this.
Are there any warlocks in this city?
She looks up and she thinks and she says, I don't think so.
Because you say there are you say there are plenty of spellcasters, but they all have to learn their magic. So there are none who are sorcerers and therefore have sources of power themselves.
I have not met any sorcerers.
Perhaps we should head to this city.
Well, since you saved our lives so brilliantly in the Lich's cavern, I am down to follow you.
That would be much appreciated.
Let's see what happens.
This task that we must undertake, for which your help will be of great use. And at this point, there's a slight smile on her face as she says, it's more of a investigative task.
Can I check deception?
Yes.
Make a deception. No. 8.
What were you trying to work out what she was...
I was trying to figure out whether what she was saying was, it's a suicide mission, but you don't know that.
You feel like she is being honest.
Good. Still don't think she is.
I'm very good at investigating things.
Wonderful.
So, I'll be very happy to come with you.
I really hope you'll be with us when the investigation starts.
Well, I can't promise that.
And she knows you can't promise that because she has seen the magical teleportation energy in effect, and so has. There's a wry smile, as a sort of nod of like. It is of great importance to us that this mystery that we find ourselves with be solved, and that it be brought to a useful and helpful conclusion before more things like this may occur.
Just quickly, inside, I was on death's door, got hit with a fireball, wasn't feeling overly well, looked to you in an hour of need, and you seem to smile at my cindering body. What's that about?
If I may interject just for a second, so we don't have to answer that particularly indelicate question. The skull that was the source of this whole catastrophe.
Yep.
How was that imbued with the necrotic energy? Do we know? Did you know of the man who used it? Had he had any time at your city?
Candle looks at you and she says, she sort of skirts not delicately, like she's just like, oh, good, not having to deal with that. Looks across and says, he is known only to us from his dealings on the Black Cove. We only knew him as a pirate.
Why would he want to bring back a lake?
Why would any weak, short-lived being wish to bring back a lich?
I see. That does completely make sense.
I do not think that he was aware of the pact and the power that he had entered into.
They never are.
That is true. And she turns her attention back to Alistair and says, "It is always a shame to see an ally fall. But sometimes you have to earn your ally status. Not everybody wants to sleep with you."
I get that. But, I'm not...
Do you? Do you?
I see there is definitely a line between not wanting to sleep with someone and being happy that they're dead. Maybe think about that?
I was busy saving everybody's skins.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's true.
I assumed that your friends would be able to bring you back, and here you are.
I didn't see a
Think-
I didn't hear a thank you for that. No.
Oh no, I am eternally grateful.
Nice.
I would think more on your fallen friend.
Ouch.
I take out some of not plumage, sorry, Wally's feathers.
Are all bird
Feathers.
people look alike to you now?
From beyond the grave, there's a faint.
Some tears, very sad. And then I think about my clanker that you destroyed as well. Maybe I shouldn't have saved you.
People are very...
Seriously, man, I got your back. It was my potion. It's fine.
Thank you.
It wasn't your potion, it was his own potion, I think.
Oh,
Your
yes, it
potion
was.
I tried to heal Wally with.
Save Wally.
And you did heal him.
I did. Then he died. So.
Yes, exploded.
Such is the nature of combat.
Oh well.
To the city then, I suppose. I could do with a nice long sleep.
Yeah.
It will take us a while.
Lovely. Thank you. Gwen.
I would recommend this. Make your way back to the ship. deal with your fallen friend. Meet me in 2 days' time. She thinks, and says, meet me in Lunes, which is one of the cities of the Trocan Caldera, one of the ones that you've been to the most. You've been there a lot.
Shiny cloak, so.
Oh, me too.
Yes, the Queen owes you a shiny cloak, and she says, meet me in the docks. 2 days.
I can do that.
I can do that.
Okie dokie.
Wonderful. And she disappears.
Did anyone else think it was a little bit out of line? That she smiled.
To be honest, mate, I think if you didn't mind so much, it wouldn't be a problem. And I have to say, she has given you no encouragement at all from the beginning. So I would also say, chill out. Find somebody else to obsess over. There's a load of these foxy women. I understand they're very beautiful. I tried myself.
That is true.
But they are harsh, harsh mistresses.
I just don't seem to recall doing anything that untoward.
No, that's true, but maybe that's the problem.
Oh,
You
you
just-
think I should be more toward?
Not more toward her, more toward somebody else who might actually reciprocate what you're doing.
Noggin.
Yeah, tap in, I'm out. This guy really needs to get laid. I think that's what
I'm not helping with that.
He's 3 foot tall, man.
I'll help with it myself later on. It's fine.
I mean, he
Abuse.
definitely falls under your chain of command as the master.
I command you to see a prostitute.
Well, if you insist,
I
then
don't
fine.
mind. The only recommendation.
Okay. That's a side quest that, that we won't be dealing with in the next 10 minutes.
Roll charisma. You succeed.
I feel a little bit shameful about it afterwards.
Roll strength.
You just sit there crying.
Sad wank. Anyway, sorry.
Slowly, you make your way back to the ship, and as you are walking back towards where the ship is moored, and where the jolly boat that brought you across to this island is beached, you have an opportunity amongst the three of you to think about how you're going to tell the captain, Relora, the now commander of the ship, and others aboard the ship about what's happened, how you fared, and how it all played out. So you have an opportunity to have that conversation between the three of you as you
You're
walk along.
the highest ranking.
Oh, yes.
You do it.
Cool, that's fine. I am totally ready to take all the credit I can.
Credit? What did you do?
Everything, if you're going to let me tell the story.
Maybe I should tell the story.
No. As the highest ranking here, as she said, I am telling the story.
Well, he's
But I have
bard,
a way with
actually.
words.
That does not matter at all, so do I. What?
He's a bard, so he could do it in rhyme.
No, that's
that would
fine.
Be cool.
He can eulogize me after I've set out what actually happened.
What
Alright.
actually happened in your mind?
Absolutely. Never let the truth get in the way of a good yarn. You should know that of anybody.
No, I know it very well.
Exactly. Therefore, now, we have lost an ally of ours, but was not a member of the crew, am I correct?
Yep.
We lost an ally of ours who sacrificed himself bravely, having summoned an air elemental, which then proceeded to beat him to death.
Perhaps
He
we leave
also-
that bit off.
Why?
Just died.
It's the truth. That's what you wanted, wasn't it?
Give him a dignity in death, I think. Just
A dignity, I will say, he did manage to collapse the roof whilst turning it into mud, and that was very impressive.
It wasn't very
Massively
helpful.
unhelpful. But at the same time, it was very impressive. He was an impressive bird man. I don't know how you. Well,
Birdman.
birdman.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. He was a very impressive birdman. That is definitely what happened. On the other hand, we also got help from another one of our allies, who I believe we're now in with very well since she's given us a quest to come and help with. She came in and said that she'd been waiting for us for hours, but we had just lulled that thing into a sense of false security. And then
That's what we were doing.
That's exactly what we were doing by being massively ineffectual. I won't use that word, but that's where we're going. So let us just say, we fought off possibly the most powerful thing we have seen on this island.
Yes, yes.
There are very, very few spellcasters, as we have been told.
Yes.
We three, entirely unmagical, I'm sorry to say that, but I feel like it's true.
Well, no, yes.
Entirely unmagically adept at hurting things, managed to overcome what was essentially a lich. And I say that's pretty impressive.
I think that's very
I
impressive.
hit it many times, you hit it
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Yes.
You said something particularly cutting about...
I did, and it did look hurt. It looked
it
very
really-
hurt.
Yes, and you kept trying to summon its mother, which I thought was a fairly weird maneuver.
Things happen. I don't always control.
That was the
what-
thing. There were three of them. You added another one. That really helped. It wasn't at all terrifying.
It made sense in my head.
Exactly. At the same time, you also caused the sleet, which I'm sure slowed it down. I'm not stopping.
This conversation continues as you make your way back in the boat, as you go back through everything that's happened over the last
I would
game
say
time,
you guys were
about
in so
40
much trouble
minutes.
until I came along.
You make your way back to the ship, and the jolly boat pulls up beside, and a rope drops down, and you tie it off to the front and back of the boat, and then you can start to climb back up onto the main ship. And behind you, you see some of the Marines, led
Do
by
we have pipe to
Josin, just
board?
pull the boat back up. Say again?
Do we have piped aboard?
Do you have pipe to board?
No. Do we get piped
As in
aboard?
bagpipes.
No. It's supposed to be. Doesn't matter. It's fine.
Like that?
Yeah, if that's what it is, then that's yeah, that's lovely.
It's a high-pitched whistle. Sounds remarkably like hailing comms in the 1960s version of a TV show that we can't talk about.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And you are now back aboard the main ship. There are people here that you might wish to talk to.
Captain. No, he's dead, isn't he? Shit.
The new
captain's
one.
The new captain. Sorry, what?
The new one.
The captain's not dead.
Is he not?
No, the old captain died at the beginning of the whole fucking thing.
Oh, I see. I saw someone was talking about how Golan died. Oh, fine.
Golan's fine.
Good. Captain, I have some explaining. I mean, I have some the tales that I shall tell.
The door flies open and he says, "Did you hit it?"
Yes.
I was just ready to smack it with my mace. I have this
Absolutely.
new maul, and it does extra magical damage against dead things. I was so ready to just. How many times did you hit it in the face?
Oh, several with the maul. The thing was, it was trapped in mud and sleet at the time due to this man,
yeah,
and
that
I'm
was me,
afraid.
that was me.
But let me go no further before saying we have lost one of our allies. What was his fucking name? Wally.
Dead.
Yes,
New
dead.
guy.
Very dead. He was beaten to death by his own air elemental, but the air elemental had done very well before that.
He looks confused. Has he met Wally?
Yeah.
Okay. He says,
Plumage may be devastated, I don't know.
I think they all know each other, these birds.
Wow.
Probably a cousin.
Wow.
Ooh.
"Roll
Wow.
persuasion."
Me as well?
Yeah.
20, non-natural.
Persuasion. Oh, something ridiculous. 27.
What?
Oh, no, 37.
No.
No.
27, you nutter.
37.
That
He's
would
got
have been
plus 12 on
Of course, it's a
persuasion.
bard.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Golan looks at you and he says, yes. Very good. Probably all related, aren't they?
endemic.
Wow!
But also, sir, may I say, what are they called? The Vuvian people?
Oh,
Vosu.
the Vosu.
The Vosu. The Vosu came and helped us. But there was more to this Vosu than
Which
met
one?
the eye. Candle.
Candle in the dark.
Candle.
Indeed.
Yes.
Now, she had something to say which I think you will find quite interesting. She said that there is a city wherein there are magic users. And she pointed out to us that on our quest thus far, we have not seen that many magic users.
But what about the...
exactly. my
Very good,
reaction,
very
sir.
good, very
Yeah,
good.
my-
Yes,
my
good
great
point.
minds
Very
think
made, well
alike.
made, well
We
made.
get stumped at the same point in our thought process.
He's a barbarian, so you know.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Captain Golan,
Noggin, yes.
do you have anything shiny you can give me for doing so well?
Me too. No, well, maybe not.
I did a really good job, right, guys?
Yeah, you totally
She
did.
did
Yeah, she
amazingly.
really, it was.
Thank you.
Brought
Shiny.
Wally back to life.
Yes.
But then he died again.
And this one
Yes, yes.
with
I-
my potion.
no,
Well,
with his potion.
No, it wasn't.
He looks across at you all, and he sort of says, "Yes, it was a tough place to leave behind, especially with the magic flowing so strongly.
Steady now.
I am sad to have not had an opportunity to smash it with my maul.
I did
But-
that for you, sir.
It would have been fantastic.
Well, I'm afraid I'm out of shiny things at the moment, although I'm sure we could find some in the next port that we stop at. But for now, let us think instead in terms of... We will have a feast, a dinner in honor of our fallen ally,
Bravo.
and everyone will be allowed a small ration of rum.
Ah, excellent, excellent. First class.
In honor of your glorious success.
Absolutely. Everyone, splice the main brace. I think.
And on that note, we're going to end this hour.
That is what it's called when you give everyone a drink on a ship.
Really?
Yeah, it's literally true.
Cool.
Some nautical drinking facts. Thank you very much for joining us. We are doing this from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day of the Fringe, apart from 24th and 25th. We're live streaming the whole thing over twitch.tv/adventureswanted, and we're live tweeting it all over at Adventures250. You can always come back to see how the adventure goes, or you can buy yourself a player ticket and get involved. And I'm just going to throw some guys here who are working on other shows at the Fringe they'd like to plug.
I'm doing Beadledom Alpha at the Cowgate Underbelly at 2:50 tomorrow afternoon. It's a show about a clown that breaks the universe. And someone said the other day that when they came out that it reminded them of a Pixar short, which I think is quite a good review.
It's a good review.
I'm in a show called Heartwood. It is a puppet musical. It is playing every day except tomorrow at venue 13 at midday. It's been reviewed very well, and it has moved grown men to tears.
Excellent.
Grown men!
By punching them in the nuts.
I'm too sad.
Figuratively.
Emotionally.
I'm too sad to pitch. It's not happening.
Oh.
In that case, I will do a very quick pitch. I'm not working on anything else, but there's a really wonderful show called Morale is High Since We Gave Up Hope at 10:15 at Summerhall, which has time travel and songs and is made by some incredibly talented people. But anyway, that's it. We've now got to shift so that Thief can get in here. But thank you again for coming. And it's just out of the way. And have a lovely day. And thank you everyone for playing. And Alex,
No worries, thank you.
Nothing like a show that has to give itself its own applause.